Welcome to the National Christian Homeschool Basketball Championships Boys 14 and Under National Selection Show. We have four divisions, two of which are standalone divisions. We'll break down what that means in a minute. But we have 15 states from our 62 teams represented. We're really excited to have Basketball Nationals in Springfield, Missouri again. I'm Rob Flatt. This is Jeremy Caldwell, our seating director. His email address is on this slide. So if you see anything, not necessarily seating related, at this point, seating is done. But if you see anything that maybe a missing team, that would be worth letting us know. We have done,
Important.
yeah, real important. We did a preliminary view of this. So most teams knew they were in Division One. So none of this should be new. And also the Division 3 and 4 teams, most of them knew where they were at. However, the bubbles have been decided. So there were some bubble teams, and that is not the case anymore. So welcome to Division 1, Division 2, to these 32 teams. Pretty big deal. I'm going to say this so that any of you that are thinking about it, screenshot. We're going to go right into Division 3, Division 4, a slide, and then we're going to be talking about the actual format for several slides in a row. So if you're wanting to know, hey, we're a Division 1 and 2 team, you want some time to process that, take a screenshot while we're talking through this other stuff, all right? The format stuff. Maybe the boring stuff, or it's the very reason you're watching because you want to know more about how it actually plays out. And since brackets don't come out till Friday, March 7th, this is your first kind of look at some of these teams and who's there, but also it's going to be your understanding of the bracket. So we skipped to a couple ahead. Like I said, we've got some format stuff to discuss here and how the days break down. But before we do, Division 3 and 4, if you're a D3 and 4 team and you see your team here, snap that photo pretty quickly here because just like with Division 1 and 2, we're going to keep it moving without talking about the teams until we get into the later part of this show when we're talking about who teams are playing in their matchups. Yeah, I'm gonna give a few seconds more, but we will be talking more about Division 3 and Division 4 after we've thoroughly broken down Division 1 and Division 2. So if you see your team here, you just bear with us. Bear with us. Pay attention to the format information. A lot of it's the same with a slight difference, and I'll go ahead and explain that difference here in 1 second. All right, so we're going to keep this moving, and Division 1 and 2. Okay, so here's the big difference between Division 1 and every other division. Division 1 is a four gold ball division. You're going to have 8A, 7A, 6A, and 5A gold ball champions. All the other divisions, 2, 3, and 4, are double gold ball divisions. So that's the big difference. That does play differently for Division 3. So when we get talking about Division 3, you're going to want to pay close attention for D3 teams. There's a little bit of a difference in how things start out. But for the Division 1 and Division 2 teams, get ready for an exhilarating tournament as we crown 4 Division 1 gold ball champions and 2 Division gold ball champions. D1 and D2 this year will have 1 silver ball winner and 1 bronze ball winner. Now, think about that for a second. Think about how we've done things in the past. That is different. I'll get more on that in a second, but we'll also have a copper bracket trophy winner. If you've played in a gold ball game before and lost, you were likely handed a silver ball. We noted your face. We paid attention to it. We heard words as the seasons go on about those silver balls. And the bottom line is we feel like the silver ball teams are going to appreciate it so much more if they actually win a silver ball. We've never seen a bronze ball team win a bronze ball and be anything but as exhilarated as a gold ball winner. And that has just not been the case for silver ball. So we're making a change here. So 4 gold balls, 1 silver ball. That means if you lose a gold ball game, you're going to a silver ball semifinal. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but that means you will have to play that out and win that. If you're in a double gold ball division, 2 silver balls. So you're going to play not two Silver Balls. There's one Silver Ball, two teams in it. That's one Silver Ball championship game. All right. So Monday, brace yourselves. 16 teams are playing their way into Division One. The 16 teams that win are going to go to a gold ball class 8A, 7A, 6A, or 5A quarterfinal. Actually, I'm sorry, semifinal. The 16 teams that lose are going to go to Division Two quarterfinal starting on Tuesday. All right. So Tuesday is going to be packed. We are going to have some great games. We're going to have the Division Two class quarterfinals along with the Division One class semifinals. The four teams that win their Division One semifinals, I'm sorry, the eight teams that win their semifinals will go on to play in gold ball games on Wednesday. And the teams that win in their Division Two quarterfinals, they'll play in their gold ball semifinals. Divisions will not cross. Once you're in your Division One, your divisions, you stay there. You're in D1, your D1 team all the way through. You won't play D2 teams again except that initial play-in game. All teams will play Wednesday through Friday, regardless of how they do throughout the tournament, even all the way through 32nd place of the Division One and Two. If you lose on Wednesday in D2, or on Tuesday in D2, you will move Wednesday through Friday to the Copper Bracket Championship or bracket, where only the winner of that will win a trophy. I mean, honestly, this is what everyone's been waiting for. If you are a basketball fan, if you are a homeschool basketball fan, if you're a Nationals fan, in the sense that your teams look forward to coming to Nationals, this is what it's all about. Division One, if you make it to the gold ball game, great news. You're going to make it to a live stream court. Evangel, the Valor Center has opened this year. It's a brand new facility. We are so thrilled that we will be in Evangel's Valor Center all week. Monday through Thursday, we will be live streaming games there. And boys 14 and under, Division One they will be playing at either Evangel Valor Center or Drury O'Reilly Center for their gold ball games on Wednesday. Jeremy Caldwell, Scott Staten out of Indiana, Paul Gilmore out of Texas area are main guys that come out every single year. We're thrilled that they'll all three be back again, as well as Thomas and Jesse Sanders, who will join us as the week goes on. On Wednesday, they will be there. So there's a really good chance that your games might be covered by one of the Sanders brothers, if not both of them. So we're really blessed to have them and excited to have legends of the game, players who went on and played at the next level and in the pros, who wrote their names in the record books of their colleges, and at the national championships had such success. So we're really excited to have those guys, along with some other people that have called games for us for over the years. Nick Fairley has been consistent and been there. And then Jeremy mentioned some new potential broadcasters, as well as some returning ones, Jeff Cannon and Amy Curtis, both out of the Texas area, that are coaches. We love having ex-coaches or current coaches. So as we keep moving along, for those teams, just as a reminder, there's no reseed this year in any age groups at Nationals, and all teams will be playing Monday through Friday. All right, so Division One on Thursday, the Division One Gold Ball Showdown Series we played. So 8A will play 5A, 7A will play 6A. And those teams that win will make it to the national finals, and that will also be covered on Drury, which is the only court on Friday that will have the broadcast. The teams that play in Division Two that fall short in their gold ball games will have to win the silver ball. All right, so we are going to take a quick look. We're not going to spend too long on this because we're going to talk about the teams in a little bit. But we are, I see a typo. I have fixed the typo. If you're watching this later on with the racers there, Evansville, there's no space. That's been fixed. So we will have that fixed on the actual slideshow when you're going through it later on. All right.
We were racing through it.
We were racing through it. So we'll go ahead and just get that up here as corrected, and that will be That will make it easier for me to focus. So Jeremy, we're not going to spend too long here, but why don't you talk about these top teams? As you mentioned, most of these teams already know they're in these spots. This has been released in the earlier. We did a sneak peek. It was about up for about 48 hours. So those of you who did notice it, you're on it. If your coach paid attention and was telling you about all this stuff, they deserve a thank you for paying such close attention. They are for and because it was only up for about 48 hours. But there's a lot of coaches know where you're at. So let's just talk just about the ones and twos right now, and then we're going to talk about everything else here in a minute.
Yeah, you have a, a couple regional winners here in the 14U boys division. The St. Louis Blue Knights coming in as the number one overall seed. They won the Heartland Regional. And then you have the Upper Cumberland Rams. They, I think they were an upset team that
Yeah.
came. I think they went in as a 14 seed and apparently possibly a miss seed on our behalf for the regional. Nonetheless, they came in as a 14 and upset the number three first game right off the bat, and then went on to win the whole thing and won the Midwest. So that was definitely unexpected
Yeah, and
from.
when I'm going to jump in on both of those, I think St. Louis was a 6 seed, and Upper Cumberland to assume the 7 seed, so they were probably in the 7-10 matchup or something along those lines. But they can't. No, you're right. They were 14 and played the three and knocked off the three. So both were big upsets. Now we did. Hey, we're on it. So you brought it up. It's on people's minds. That at least one or two people that are watching this are going to bring that up. You said we might have misseeded them. I'm all for acknowledging when we make a mistake. That was actually one that we went back and reviewed um, at the prompting of a couple emails that we received, um, or I believe you received. And so we took a look at that, and Upper Cumberland had a great run at regionals. Um, their results on the year were very different than what they actually performed at regionals. I think with one of the coaches or athletic directors, I even sent. I think I know. I sent, hey, this is what we got from Upper Cumberland. So I understand there might be the concept that we completely missed it with them, but they actually had a losing record, or had a. I think they were 1-3 against the teams that they had actually played that were coming to regionals that they outperformed. And so sometimes teams get hot, other times teams they lay an egg, and sometimes it's a combination. And so Upper Cumberland, great story here. St. Louis Blue Knights, another interesting story because they had initially signed up for nationals and then were not signed up for nationals in January. I think they had made a decision not to come. And then during regionals, actually reached out and said, "Hey, we noticed you still have some spots. Is that available?" And here we are, a little surreal. Just a little over a week ago, they weren't even on our team list, and now they're the number one team on number one seeded team coming into nationals. That's wild. I love it. Um, and I think we're ready to talk a little bit more about the rest of these teams. So let's just make sure that everyone understands how this is going to work. 8A's gold ball winner will play 5A. 7A's gold ball winner will play 6A. Gold ball runner up 5A and 8A will play each other. Gold ball runner up 6A and 5A or 7A will play each other. Again, this is only going to impact Division One. It's the only one with 4 gold balls. So here we go. This is the fun stuff. We saw the top 5. A little bit of a delayed release there, so you have a chance to take a screenshot. We definitely want you to. You won't see brackets until Friday. Is this final? No. I mean, none of this is completely final. Is this open for feedback about seeding? No. We're past that stage. It's okay if we made a mistake. 408 teams are being seeded. We're doing our absolute best. A mistake that would be correctable is if Upper Cumberland actually finished 8th place or even 2nd place, and the champion was in a spot that should be reserved for Upper Cumberland. That would be the type of mistake that would be correctable and we would fix. But we understand that seeding is a matter of perspective. and everyone's perspective is going to be different. We try to take an objective perspective to it, but even within that, we understand that um, it's going to be different for everyone. But some of our principles,
Hey,
Jeremy,
go ahead and move the slide to the
Yeah,
brackets.
yep, there we
There we
go.
go.
Hey, that was about 2 minutes too late on that
That's
one there.
okay.
So, big for pointing that out, Jeremy. So let's do this, Jeremy. Let's talk. Let's just start breaking down Class 8A matchups. Actually, let's go 5A through 8A. We're gonna 8A when we get to. We'll switch over to Team USA when we get
Right.
done with that. So why don't we start up through 5A and talk about some of these matchups?
Yeah, so in 5A, you have the Lapeer Lakers out of the Midwest coming out of Michigan. They were the runner-up to the Upper Cumberland Rams.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take on the number one seed as the 5A, and they're gonna play the KC East Lions coming out of the Heartland Regional.
Yep.
And then you have CHSA Maroon. They're coming in as a runner-up, and they finished as the third place finisher
Yep.
at the Big South behind PT Warriors and uh,
Yep. Gotcha. Yep.
PT Warriors were the runner up. So
Yep.
the Big South champion is not coming to nationals this year. So PT being the runner up and actually being the only team to beat Elevate this year, they will resume the number 3 overall seed in 6A. So CHSA is going to be playing Bluegrass out of the Heartland. Wichita Warriors from the Heartland is going to be playing Fort Bend out of the Big South. And then MHEA Eagles out of the Big South is going to be playing Noah Jaguars from the Heartland. So if you look at Class 5A, it's a lot of Big South Heartland teams facing off against each other.
Yep.
And then Class 6A, you got the PT Warriors, who were the runner-up at the Big South, going against Shreveport Force.
Yep.
That's a Texas versus Louisiana matchup. Wichita Defenders out of the Heartland Regional is going to be firing off against Aspire.
Hey,
Uh,
I just want to jump in there. You mentioned the Spire here, and this is not the first of our top divisions. I mean, there's 62 teams. Only the top 32 make it. And you just mentioned the Spire. They're a second year program, and you're going to talk about Oklahoma Flame. Both are from pretty much the same area out there in
right.
Tulsa. And they're both second year programs, and we're looking at these teams. And you got Tulsa Noah from the same area. You got 3 teams from the Tulsa area that are putting teams in Division One. I mean, I, I think maybe Dallas you get that, or Houston sometimes. You got HSAA and Dash right here. I'm trying to see. And I think you mentioned PT, so that's your Dallas Fort Worth area. THESA Riders there as well, and then Houston you got Fort Bend. Um, and some years you've got some other teams there from there. So just really incredible to see one city like that that's got 2 second year programs that are making the top division. I know with Aspire they did that in girls. 18U in Oklahoma Flame is the number 1 overall seed in boys 16U, and they made Division 1 in boys 18 as well. So
Yep.
something worth pointing out there. West Michigan versus Dash Dallas. West Michigan I think was that. I say I think here, but West Michigan was that 3 seed that lost to Upper Cumberland. They had a great season,
Right.
but even Lapeer had an amazing season, and Upper Cumberland took them down. So West Michigan there at that 6th spot just shows the depth. I think of you can't if you're Dash and thinking, oh, it's a 6th seed. That's not your traditional 6th seed. That's a team that they want to come in and play spoiler after having have it happen to them.
Yeah,
Um,
they were the 3 seed going into the Midwest Regional.
yeah,
West
absolutely.
Michigan was.
Yep.
So, and then you got Fort Smith, Arkansas, facing off against Tennessee Heat,
Yeah.
and so that's going to be another good matchup. So, and then you're going on to the 7A. We mentioned already the Upper Cumberland Rams from Tennessee. They're going to be playing Team USA. So, regardless of the outcome of that game, the score, Upper Cumberland was going to advance.
Yep.
And KC Metro Mavericks are going to be playing THESA Riders. So that's another Big South versus Heartland matchup. You got Evansville Racers as the 3 seed facing off against Oklahoma Flame, team you just mentioned, and that's a Midwest versus Heartland. And then you got Manhattan Chief and OKC Knights
Yeah.
facing off against each other, which is another Oklahoma team right there, OKC Knights.
Right. And I want to point out that there is no defending undisputed national champion here this year. Additionally, I say that wrong. There's no defending undisputed national champion that's a regional champion. Dallas HSA is the defending national champion. They're sitting there at that 5. You got KC Metro was the 2023 undisputed national champion. They're sitting right there. And I jumped in to say, the Evansville Racers, that's a team right there that I think this is our 3rd year of coming. They've put together competitive teams every single time in these younger age groups. So it's a lot of fun to see. Here they are in boys 14 and under as a top 3 seed. Nothing's easy. A 3 seed can go down just like that in these Division 1s and 2s. And in fact, 3-6 upsets may be more common than any other upset we have. The 4-5, we're telling you right now, if you're a 5 or a 6, even a 7, oftentimes there's not much difference. It's more about unique matchups. It's not about,
Right.
oh, this team's the 21st or 16th or no,
Right.
we're not breaking it down that much. It's more about unique matchups.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for in those early rounds for sure. So, all right, keep breaking us down. And I think you got a little more in 8A. No, actually, I think you got 8A left.
7A. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
back to 7A real quick. We've talked about Upper Cumberland, how they, came
yeah.
through as the underdog and won it. And they played Lapeer, and that actually was an overtime game that Upper Cumberland won by 4 points. So Lapeer is a tough team. Lapeer was the number 1 seed in the Midwest.
Yep.
And then, the Upper Cumberland Rams come in and they got hot at the right time and rolled through, took Lapeer to overtime, won it by 4. So that was a good regional championship game.
Hey, could you explain kind of our process for what happens if two teams play each other in a regional finals? What type of lengths we go through to make sure that
Yeah.
those
So,
teams?
so if you
Yeah.
played in a regional championship game, regional final, then you're not going to be on the same side of the bracket. So in this case, the 8A and 5A will play each other, the winners. So you won't see the 2 regional teams playing each other in those because they're gonna have to be opposite. So
Okay.
as you can see, Upper Cumberland is a 7A and Lapeer is the 5A number ones. Well, they're not going to play each other unless they both win all the way out and match up Friday.
Right.
So we try our best to not put them on the same side, on the same path, unless they have to meet up on Friday. And if that's the case, then the 2 best teams are the 2 best teams. We can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, like KC Metro and St. Louis, I believe, are finalists. And so you've got the same kind of situation there where we keep those teams um, protected from from being on the same side. And
Right.
so you might run into a spot. Upper Cumberland could end up playing West Michigan Hornets again in the 7A if 7A and 6A win their gold ball. That is possible. We understand that some of those matchups could happen. You might even have a team in your class, even though we don't want that you have played at regionals, but we will go through great lengths in the event that the best 2 teams in the nation are from the same region. It's happened before. We're going to try to make sure that you don't play each other until Friday. If both teams make it to the regional finals, and that really is helpful if you're maybe the best team in the nation is in your region, you get second. That helps you make sure that you're not going to play that best team in the nation until possibly you get to the finals. You might be the second best team in the nation. So
Right.
all right, so let's break down 8A and then we'll go over to the Team USA slide. But be getting your screenshots now. If you're a Division 1 and Division 2 team, this is it. We're about to switch into talk a little bit about brackets coming, Team USA, merch, and then we're going to go right into D3, D4.
Yeah. So St. Louis Blue Knights, the Heartland Regional Champion, is going to be playing Team USA, so they're going to automatically advance because Team USA cannot knock a team out of contention for a gold ball or trophy. Indy Wildcats out of Indiana is going to be facing off against Northwest Arkansas. Hornets, Red River out of the Big South is going to be playing Lighthouse Chargers from the Heartland, and Northside Lions from the Midwest against defending national champion HSAA out of Dallas from the Big South. So uh,
Yeah.
a lot of mixed matches here and a lot of flavor.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Indy Wildcats. I want to say in 2017 they won the undisputed title in 14U. 2019 the 18U undisputed title. So yeah, there's a lot of great teams here. It should be a lot of fun. Boys 14 and under. In the way that our staff thinks, boys 14 and under is the second marquee age group outside of 18U. So I say boys, but 14U. 14U tends to play that junior high schedule, that seventh, eighth, or that eighth grade schedule. So you're playing against the cream of the crop in that age group. 16U tends to play a JV schedule. No knock on 16U at all. We have 62 teams there as well out of the 408 teams. 62 teams in boys 14 and boys 16U. But we do see boys 14 as that. That's where a lot of times your elite players are going to play there, and maybe 16U or maybe 12U, but they're not necessarily playing 18Us and 14Us at the boys level. And so we've seen some great players come through that boys 14 under age level. Justin Jackson, the Sanders brothers that I mentioned, and the list can go on. Taylor Griffin played boys 14 and under there. Even Taylor Griffin, Blake Griffin, number one NBA pick. He played boys 14 and under. I think he was only 12 at the time, but he was still playing boys 14 and under. It's always good. So if you are playing a Team USA, screenshot this. If you're in the lower divisions, go ahead and screenshot this. You might be playing a Team USA. But the bottom line is we're not going to break this completely down. Jeremy hinted at it. It's in the brackets if there's a Team USA there, and it's also on the NCHC Live policies page. So we're going to just keep on moving and get us to that next slide, the D3, D4. So again, March 7th, brackets are coming out. This is a live link if you decide to go to the slides, which we will have a link to the slides on nchclive.com on the homepage there. All right, this is the logo this year. We've got it everywhere. Fine Designs created it. They do a great job, as always, it seems like, at least the last 7 or 8 years. They will be on site selling their great merch. And we heard from people this year that did not have an opportunity to get it at regionals that they love having Fine Designs. So we are thrilled to have them there for nationals. All right, so we've already introduced the 30 teams for Division 3 and Division 4. Take a screenshot of this. We're not going to stay on it very long because we're going to actually get to where the teams are and how they're break down. But I do want to give you a few seconds here to kind of look at this. We'll talk about the teams, some exciting things here, some exciting flavor when it comes down to it. Always exciting when you have Hawaii and the Oahu Kraken are here in Division 3 and Division 4. We talked about KC Metro Mavericks, and that was actually started. The Kraken were started by a former KC Metro Maverick family that relocated and wanted to get an organization off the ground. So we talked about the format with 16 teams in Division 1 and 2 playing in that Division 1 playing game. Well, in this case, there's 14 teams that will play in that Division 3 playing game. Right now, if you're a 1 or a 2 seed, if you're the number 1 overall seed, if you notice that in the last slide, currently we will have either a practice for you or we will have a seeding game if you want to play against the other team that is the 1. And so we will have that as an opportunity if we don't have Team USAs. Our goal is to get a couple more Team USAs. This is a very common age group to add a team or Team USA. If that's the case, this will become a 64 team field, and this will be a field of 32 that will follow very similarly to the other format that we broke down with a couple exceptions. One is this is a double gold ball division. We already talked about this. D3 has 4A and 3A. That's how teams are going to open up in one of the either 4A or 3A. If you lose, you're going to go to Division 4. You're going to either go to 2A or 1A, and that will be a gold ball quarterfinal that you'll start on Tuesday, no matter what. So no matter whether you win or lose, you're going to a gold ball quarterfinal. The difference will be will it be D3 or D4. So once we get to Wednesday, Friday, a lot like Division 2, Wednesday is going to be your gold ball semifinals. Division 3 and Division 4 will not mix. Once you're in Division 3, you're in Division 3. Once you're D4, you're D4. But the winners of each of their division class semifinals move to their division goal ball games on Thursday. So D3 goal ball games will be played Thursday. D4 goal balls will be played Friday or Thursday as well. If you lose on Wednesday, you'll move to your division's bronze ball semifinals, where we'll play first through fourth, Thursday through Friday. A bronze ball winner will be crowned, and they will take home a bronze ball. On Thursday and Friday, the Division 3 gold ball games will take place for third on Thursday for both D3 and D4. The winners will go to the national finals for the division. The teams that lose will go to a silver ball championship game. So that is the format. Jeremy, let's talk teams. Let's talk some matchups. Let's go ahead and just do a quick breakdown of 4A, who those teams, who's playing who, and 3A, who's playing who. And then this will be it slide wise. So if you're thinking about screenshots, this is your chance. You got maybe 2 minutes before we end this selection show.
Yeah, so the number one seeds, as you mentioned, will not have a play-in game. So they will either get a bye or they can play each other. They will have that option. And if they choose not to play it, then they'll have practice time, I believe, on the court that they can schedule. With that being said, 2 through 15 will all have to play playing games. So you're going to have Oklahoma Flame Ellis playing against Illinois Crew, Chisholm Chrism Knights playing against Wichita Defenders, Lebanon Rockets out of Missouri against Saline County, Arkansas, Indy Northwest Warriors, which we've mentioned them a couple times. They'll be playing Tennessee Heat, Wichita Warriors against Memphis Eagles, HSAA Reds going to be playing. Oh, they're playing MHA. I'm sorry, and then Rush will be playing Marion Hawks.
Yeah, before you go to the 3A breakdown, I just want to jump in and just say something that's really exciting is one of the reasons that we have these lower divisions created is we want everyone to be able to come to nationals and have an opportunity. We want a development team to be able to have a chance to compete against other development teams or teams that are maybe close to them in talent. Doesn't mean everything's always going to be equal, but right off the bat, you mentioned some Wichita Warriors in the six, playing as the six. That's their B team. You got the five seed Tennessee Heat B team. You got KC Metro's B team down here, the Wichita Defenders B team, MHEA White, Oklahoma Flame. They have a B and a C team down here. Not that that's necessarily how they grade their teams, but it's really exciting. Northside's got that. It's really exciting to see. In Boys 16, we don't have that many teams opt into the lower divisions or qualify, but one of the qualifications for that in the seeding form is a development team or that's a B team. Also, there's age qualifications that allow teams to opt into it, and we do our best to honor that when possible. And it's not a situation where that team's 40 points better than all the teams that they're trying to compete against. But if you lose in D3, so in you losing these matchups Jeremy's mentioning, you're going to go to D4, which is a double goal ball division. It doesn't mean it's easy. Goal ball shouldn't be easy, but is it possible? Yes, you can lose Monday and still be alive against other teams, probably other B teams or teams that lost to B teams. And that's something exciting. So Jeremy, break us down for class 3A as we wrap up here. Get your screenshots if you're taking any.
Yeah, so 3A Salt and Light's going to get a bye. And so that means KC Metro is going to face off against Team USA. So KC Metro will also advance. They'll play their game, but they will advance regardless of the outcome because Team USA rules. Southwest Louisiana Knights is going to face off against Monroe County Warriors. The Wahoo Kraken is going to be facing against Virtus Basketball Club, which I think that's a new program, if I'm not mistaken, out of Texas.
That's correct. Right.
And then Oklahoma Flame, I think that's one of their three teams. They're going to be facing off against CHSA out of Texas. Cash Eagle from Indiana is going to be playing Thesa Riders out of Texas. Little Rock, Arkansas is going to be playing Tulsa Chef out of Oklahoma. And then Northside, Indy is going to be playing Faulkner County out of Arkansas. So a lot of cross-state rivals again, like we had mentioned before. Midwest, South, Big South, Midwest, Heartland, Big South, Heartland teams. So a lot of flavor in this age group as well.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And if you've paid attention all the way through to this point, we appreciate you. You're the diehards out there. Most people aren't going to be able to stick all the way through, but we love breaking these down. We love putting together the brackets, the divisions. We're all about having something for everyone. And while that is an impossible feat, it is something that we painstakingly try. We try to make sure that the matchups are unique. We try to make sure that even your second round matchups are somewhat unique. Do we mess up? Do upsets happen? Absolutely. But that's the goal. That's something that we put a lot of effort into, and it doesn't matter what division it is. We're putting a lot of effort into it. In fact, I think sometimes we put more effort into the lower divisions because it requires a little bit more digging, a little bit deeper looking into. We try to make sure that the at-large teams don't belong in the lower division. Last year we had a couple teams that maybe didn't belong there, so this year we worked harder to chase down those seeding forms, and we didn't bracket anyone, I don't think, for any events that didn't submit a seeding form. And if we did, it was a mistake. So the year before that, we had several teams that submitted bad seeding forms in the sense of no information or didn't even submit them at all, and it impacted the seeding. And so we worked really hard to make this a division. We work hard to protect the lower divisions. Sometimes teams try to opt into them, and we will fight and say, no, we'll make enemies because no, we do not think that that team belongs there. And so that said, we hope that the lower divisions, Division 3 and 4, have a phenomenal time. We cannot promise that it is going to be that way in the sense that everything is going to be competitive or equal. That's just impossible. But it is something that we strive for, and we want you to know if you're paying attention all the way through that we care. We care about every division. It matters to us. Every division gets our equal attention and focus. And we're really happy that you're paying attention all the way through to the end of the selection show, as well as attending nationals. So we look forward to seeing you in just a handful of days in Springfield, Missouri, and can't wait to see how everything plays out. A lot of great basketball to come. Thank you. See you soon.